Good morning. I want to talk about egg conspiracy today. Egg conspiracy. Oh no. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to tell you if there's a conspiracy or not. I don't have private information to some grandiose thing in the world. I don't know that. Neither does Mom. Hi, Mom. But we do know what we've observed. And on our farm, we've observed some very strange happenings. So, chicken egg, not that big a deal. Unless, of course, our local stores are selling the 99-cent eggs 6 months ago for $5.50 now. And the free range, like what they call pasture raised, organic, blah, 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 are $10 a dozen now. Well, I'll tell you what this...
That's in our area.
That's in our area, which is Low West Michigan. So I don't know what it is near you. Now, I have seen some at certain places for about $3. But I don't know if it's still there. I ain't checked lately. So
I know there's some that are higher than us too.
but we got a lot of people, way higher. We charge $5 a dozen for our chicken eggs when we sell it.
Only because of the rising.
Only because food costs are going crazy. I mean, a bag of scratch grain at Tractor Supply is $14.40 by us. I don't know if that's nationwide, but by us, the cheap stuff is $14.40. So it makes this cost a little bit, so we have to raise it up. But we're still cheaper than the cheapest eggs in the local grocery store, which is just insane to me. And of course, we have lots of people wanting chicken eggs, believe it or not. There's Mom.
No, that's not what I was.
So, Mom, tell me, how many eggs did we get last week when we fed them nothing but scratch grain?
It depended. The average is about 15 to 20.
And okay, now that's in the winter, 15 and 20 eggs a day with just scratch grain from Tractor Supply. I'm not going to hide who I buy my stuff from. We also bought some from our local mill, a mash, and fed it to them. And again, 15 to 20. I think we've got probably, 30 to 40 laying chickens. And it is winter, so that's why our numbers are a little down just straight across the board. Now,
we have 30.
We have 30, Mom says. So that's about half, and in winter, that's about right. Yeah. We have lights in our coop. We have plenty of light. They get plenty of light.
Well, windows.
We have windows and doors, and they have plenty of light to, lay their eggs. So let's just say it. Winter does not kill your chicken production. Some people have experienced that. I understand that. I don't know why you experienced that, and we haven't. Maybe it's the designing your coop. Maybe it's a lot of different factors in your region.
It could be the breed, too. The breed of chicken. Some breeds will lay all winter and some won't.
So, Mom, in case you didn't hear, because Mom speaks really low.
Sorry.
There are some chickens that don't lay in the winter, and that's true. Now, we've got mainly Isa Browns and black sex links and a few odds here and there. So, we do get chickens, eggs. At least half of our flock is laying every day. Unless, and this is where I'm just saying, this is our observation. You take it, you do what you want with it. I am not smart enough to say this is a clandestine attack on all food sources. I don't know. There's some weird things happening in our food sources. We do know that from the news. Lots of places burning down. They killed, hundreds of millions of chickens in the past few months. I don't know. Point is, there is an egg shortage, they say. So here we go. So, eggs again. Now here's our observation. And I'm just going to show you what we have.
Oh, the kitty.
Oh, gotta go out. Come on, kitty. All right. This is our scratch grain. Again, Producer's Pride. Nothing fancy. Tractor Supply. We use it. We've been using it for probably 5 years since we've had chickens, really.
We've always had eggs.
And we've always had plenty of eggs, no problem. I also use this, which is Producer's Pride Layer Crumbles. And we use that for the chicken. We've used that for the chickens for a long time. Well, here's my observation, and again, this isn't saying anybody's doing anything. It's just what we've observed in the last month.
Back in the summer. Well, they probably can't hear me.
Well, she says we started back in the summer.
Back in the summer.
Back when we were getting almost 4 dozen eggs a day. You know, that, and we started just, you know, I would switch it from scratch grain to crumble, or I'd mix it, you know, because that's a little bit cheaper. This is like, I think this is like 12 bucks. Okay, so like a little under 12 bucks a bag. So we split it, but we noticed our egg production going bloop, 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 further and further down.
No molting.
No molting, no sicknesses, no drastic change in anything. This was in the summer, fall, where the light's plenty, you know, so we take that out of the equation. Even through winter, we're used to getting a lot of eggs because of how we raise them.
And there's young birds in there.
Mom's saying there are some young birds in there, so you know.
Most of them are young.
Most of our flock is under.
They're a year old.
I'm sorry, I just saw the turkeys like duck. I don't know why they duck. And so
they're about a year.
So we're a year and a half old, most of our chickens are. So we understand there's an age on chickens. They only lay so many eggs. But molting, we understand there's reasons for drops. However, to go from 4 dozen to 3 to 4, sometimes none in a day, seemed very, very weird to us. And so
we went down to 1, maybe 2.
Maybe one, I'm saying 1 or 2 eggs if we're lucky. So, and that's, we just couldn't figure out what was happening. We just didn't understand. So that's when I started experimenting with the food. And I started just going scratch grain, or I just started going with our mill mash. They love our pig mash too, by the way. And I don't know why, they just adore that stuff. But so here we are. Now we're in winter. We expected a drop, and we did get a drop, you know. But we ran out of scratch grain. It happens around the farm. So I said, no big deal. I'll just feed them the crumble for a few days till I get to Tractor Supply. Well, this is where my observation makes me go, huh? Because we did the crumble, and the next 2 days, no weird snowstorms, no darkness, no changes other than the food. Mom's like, we only got 1 or 2 eggs today. What's going on? I'm like, I don't know. The next day, 1 or 2 eggs. And we're like, what's going on?
At first, I thought molting. I mean, that's the logical.
Say that again.
At first, I thought it was molting because that's the logical first, assumption. But they weren't molting. It was too early for molting.
There was no sign of it.
There was no sign of it. Yeah.
So we go, well, we don't really understand this. So then I got the scratch grain, and I just said, well, I'm going to feed them scratch grain, maybe nutrients, I don't know. And as soon as I cut the crumble out, a couple days, boom, we're back up to 15, 16 eggs in the winter. Again,
we let this go on for several months. We didn't know.
Yeah, we didn't know. We just thought, well, maybe, honestly, we just thought it was just a weird coincidence, but it kept happening. So in the last week, I actually purposely cut the scratch grain and gave them crumble. I've, in the last week, been playing with this just to see the difference. So, the weekend, I decided to go with the crumble to the chickens. And Mom's like, on Monday, we don't have any eggs. 2 or 3 again. I'm like, weird. And I told her what I did. And I said, well, let's give them the scratch grain again. I gave them the same company, only the scratch grain. Next day, boom, we're back up to more eggs. So, is there an egg conspiracy? I don't know. Again, I'm not smart enough to make that statement. But I am smart enough to know that when I give my chickens the crumble now, starting all the way back now I have to go back logically all the way back to summer. And when I feed them half the crumble, our chicken production egg goes bloop. Our chicken egg production goes bloop. And so when I go straight scratch grain, again, same company, our egg production goes back up. Or I use the pig feed, or I use the mill mash, whatever. So there you go, guys. I don't know if there's a conspiracy to shut down chicken farmers. I don't have any clandestine information. But I will say maybe they changed their formula. I read somewhere that they changed their crumble formula. Maybe that's just it. Maybe they tried something. Maybe they're getting cost overrides. I don't know. Haven't contacted the company, don't care, because I know how to get my eggs production back up by giving them mash or chicken pig feed or I don't know what the conspiracy is. I don't know if there is one, but I do know the crumbles cause our chickens to drop production. All the other feeds I give them, the production maintains about what we're used to all the time. So, egg conspiracy, I don't know. Weird observational reality, non-scientific research study. So let me just say this. If you have chickens, I guess right now I would stick with the crumble. I wouldn't stick with the crumble. I wouldn't do the crumble. I would do the, you know, like I said, I pay $14.39 for a 50-pound bag, and they seem to do fine on the Producer's Pride scratch grain. They seem to do fine on all the other scratch grains. And so I have not introduced a different company's crumble. I just don't want to take a chance. We have too many people depending on eggs for us right now. There's a lot of, you know, people, we have waiting lists for eggs right now, honestly. That's how many people want eggs from our farm. And we've actually blended another farmer that does the same thing to incorporate eggs with them too. So there you go. Eggspiracy, I'll leave that for you to decide. So that's from Looney Moose Farm on the egg conspiracy of 2023. One of the many millions we've got going around. I don't know what's true and what's not, but that's our experience. So take it and do what you want with it, guys. But we're sticking with the scratch grain and the mash for now.